by Brian Masters. It's a good book. Of course, it doesn't contain any great forbidden truth revelations in any real depth, but it does contain some truth, I think, for Brian Masters. So he's done an exceptional job, and I'm going to give this book a 7 out of 10. Now, the third and final book that I am going to review today is another book on serial killers. I own a lot of books on serial killers and true crime. Why, you might ask? Well, because, you see, I am a philosopher and I study society. I'm also a seer of forbidden truths. Now that's a bit like a social critic, but much more advanced and cutting edge. I get right to the heart of the problem, right to the core of truth. Now because of this, I have to study a lot of psychology. I have to study philosophy and other things, get a lot of facts. And when looking at societies, one of the major factors that you look at to gain truth and insight into it is crime. And the best examples of true crime are serial killers. You will get more truth out of studying, say, Ted Bundy and Charles Manson than perhaps all of these silly underbelly and underworld books and all of them put together. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. That's what you need. Okay? So I have, with that end, purchased a book, and this book is different because it's not about merely one serial killer. It's about many killers in one book. And I'll just show you here, the book here. If I just hold the book up here and shine the light. So there you are, you can have a good look. This is Talking with Serial Killers. Alright? And the little blurb here says, the most evil people in the world tell their own stories. I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, now it's by Christopher Berry D. Okay, now that's his surname, Christopher, and Berry D is hyphenated. Berry D is a one name. Okay, now as I said in the title, it says the most evil people in the world tell their own stories. Well, having read this book, it is full of quotes and information from the killers themselves, which, as I've said before, is a definite plus. However, okay, to say that they are evil is absolutely ridiculous. All serial killers are is the creation of society. They are tortured victim creations of society. Now, victim creation is hyphenated also. Okay, it's the one combined process. Okay, so they're not evil. All serial killers are is a reflection of all of you and what you and your society is and what you teach people and how you act and behave. They're just your reflections. Okay, now let's have a look here. Now again, it cost me approximately $20. And there it is, you see it. We look, it has a very clean, readable font. It is a cheaper book, but it's still a very quality print. This is the paperback version, and it has. It's a paperback and it has approximately 350 pages, but it's quite a. If you look at the size of it, it's not too thick or too big, so it's a very readable book, and the size of that of it, it's very easy to read it in bed, tucked up in bed or something like that, if you're so inclined. So it's a very flexible book. You read it in the tub or in a chair or what have you. As I said, it features many serial killers. It has a lot of quotes and a lot of facts from the killers, which I find very good. And I'll just read out some of the killers here that we could we might encounter if we were reading the book. Well, first, it has Arthur Shawcross. Now, Arthur Shawcross is a English serial killer, like Dennis Nielsen was before in the previous book. It also has John Martin Scripps. Okay, and also I'll show you here. Here is John. So the middle of the book has some pictures. So there's Arthur Shawcross there, and there's victim John. It has Eileen Werness, okay, and Kenneth Allen Macduff, and it has many others. It has enough on each serial killer to give you a good overall view of that killer, while still showing you quite a good range of different killers. Okay, and overall, I can recommend this book. But I have to say that the author here, Christopher Berry D, is very anti-serial killer. He's a manipulative person, and he is what I call a societal whore. He's an agent of society, and he basically is very anti-serial killer. He's anti-truth. He loves his society. So he's living a lie. Okay, and as you'll see in here, he hasn't got as much support for these people he interviews as he should. He's got no respect for them, and quite frankly, even though there might be a lot of facts in the book from the killers and maybe even one revelation of truth, if he manages it, I have to say that the author himself is no one to be noted as being anything. Not even a snail is vastly superior to this man. So, considering that factor, overall, I'm going to give this book with careful consideration. I'm going to give it also I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, and I've considered that carefully. It would have got 7.5 out of 10, which is the highest score yet, if it wasn't for the biased attitude at times, which I think of Christopher Berry D. Okay? Now, that concludes this episode of Seer Travis Truth TV. This was episode 5, and as I've said, this will be the last book review video. Stay tuned in future for episode 6.